Blender for Noobs.
Hello, this is Dan Nobles and welcome to Blender for Noobs and welcome back to the Omicron project, part 6 of modeling the Omicron 3 spaceship. In this part of the tutorial, we are going to be putting on the front windshield port thingy and the escape hatch and also the docking port on the back. So let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't already, and if you want to, you could go ahead and do a screenshot of your current work and also do a Control-S quick save. And I'm just going to do a file save as, and we're going to name this version 6. Save as Blender file. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a control up arrow here so we can see what we're doing. And I'm going to start to make this windshield, this front port viewport thing here. So I'm going to grab the body here, tab in edit mode, choose face view. And basically I'm just going to start building this. So actually, let me grab edge is what I really want. So I'm going to grab this edge here and 3 side view. And if I look along here, there's really no edges along the side of the ship here to connect this to, but that's okay. I'm going to build it how I want it. It's going to be a separate piece anyway, so I'm just going to do an E extrude and come down here, E extrude. And I could probably do this in 4 pieces. So E extrude is all I'm doing. So I have that so far. And let's see. I'm going to come over to the side. I'm going to grab these 2, go into 3 side view, E extrude, and just kind of mimic the same breaks that I did with the first one. E extrude, and E extrude. So I have something like that, but of course, in this case, they need to start coming in a little bit here. So I can do 7 top view, might be a little bit easier. Grab these, bring these out. Okay, so how's this looking? So far, so good. At this point, let's see. Let me go ahead and see, do I want to break it apart at this point? Yeah, I think I will. So I'm just going to choose faces, and I'm just going to shift select all these faces here and choose P and separate by selection. Now, of course, it is a separate part. Tab back into object mode. I can select this. Control up arrow, and while I have it selected, I can say, okay, name this shield, probably as good as anything. Okay, control up arrow, and now I can tab back into edit mode and start working with this shield a little bit. So I'm going to choose edge and shift select these 2 edges, choose F to make a face. So I'm just filling in these here. And this one's going to need a little bit of work. Choose 7 top view, and let's see. So I can come forward a little bit with this, like so. And just choose these, F, make a face. Take this one, bring it down. Take that one, bring it down. So it's starting to look like a windshield. And I think what I'll do is I'll just take Alt Control. Just Alt select this edge right here, E extrude, just bring this down, and I can start just moving these into place where they need to be. And just GG, using the GG tool to move these over. want these to be kind of below this area because I'm going to extrude the body of the ship to fit this. And let's see, looks like I may need another one there. No, I don't. I can bring this one over, I think. Yeah. So basically, I mean, what we're doing right here is we're creating a, instead of creating like using a cylinder or a sphere to create this kind of shape, we basically just manually created it, which is kind of fun to do. So like if you wanted to create like the shield or the nose of an aircraft, you can do it the same way. It's not too hard to do, just take some practice. Bring that in, and basically, you know, I'm just basically just molding these, and as I'm doing it, as I'm moving these, you know, I'm thinking about the spacing and how these are, you know, are they spaced together correctly, moving them along their axis. I'm looking at the lines going this way, the vertical and the horizontal. Looking at the different views. And just, you know, moving them into a round kind of shape, or a curved kind of shape. And there we have it. So this part of the ship is going to be one of the only parts that is subsurfed. I'm going to keep the rest of the ship non-subsurfed. It's going to be all complete polygon modeling like we have it, because I do want the angles on it. So you may look at it and go, well, okay, but how are you going to get rid of all these weird, you know, artifacts that you get when you do basic modeling like that? And I'll show you a little trick how to do that in case you don't know already. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So let's go ahead and finish this up. What I'm going to do now, let me go do a Shift H. Oops, not a Shift H. Alt H, bring everything back. Alt H. Okay. H to hide this. Wow. Alt H to bring everything back. Select this. H to hide just that. Okay. What I want to do on the body of the ship, tab into edit mode, and I want to create a lip around this whole thing, which is going to be the piece that initially holds the port window there. So probably, I mean, we could do an Alt, select all this, and we could try to extrude, E, scale, and that will work for part of it, but we just need to tweak it a bit. Actually, a lot of it turned out okay, but this part here, all of this needs to come back. And same thing with this. Actually, I had this piece right here. This should have already been kind of angled, so I don't know what happened. Maybe I missed that somehow. It should be something like that. So that might be okay the way it is. I don't know. We'll see. Bring these in a little bit. Give it more of a lip. Actually, maybe don't need that much, but again, we'll kind of see as we go along. Kind of like the way that's up like that. Maybe I'll leave that way. And this is, oops. This is maybe a little bit too much here. Let's see what I want to do. Let's pull it back some and then up. And Let's grab this and bring this up a little bit. Just tweaking as I'm going along. I mean, you know, it's the nice thing about it being your creation rather than creating something that somebody else is, you know, you're copying or whatever, is you can make it exactly how you want it to be rather than how somebody else thinks it should be. So there we have it. Let's Alt-H, bring back the shield here. Looks like it's fitting okay now. Of course, when we apply the subsurface, it's not going to fit exactly, but we can fix that. So Control up arrow. While we have our shield selected, go to modifiers. It's already mirrored. In this case, I don't think we're going to need the mirror at all, so go ahead and apply it. And add modifier, subdivision surface, nice and smooth. Let's make sure both of them are 2. T, get our tools menu, do smooth shading, and we got a nice smooth shield here. Very, very cool. Okay, so now I'm just looking at how it's fitting on the ship itself. I don't mind if it kind of cuts into there a little bit, but the way it's cutting into this, it looks kind of silly. So let's see which one we need to fix. Maybe I can fix this. Just bring these verts down a little bit. And that's about flat, so that's all right. Okay, maybe go ahead and do a SZ0 on those so they're nice and uniform. Z. Bring them down just a little bit more, maybe right about there. Okay, not too big of a deal. Got one here that is just going to be right on that lip, so bring those down a little bit. Maybe bring that one in. It's not working too well. Maybe give this a little bit more of a uniform look here. All right, let me hide this. Go in here. And again, I'm just going to select all these pieces. And maybe that one. And I'm going to line them up according to the y-axis, so SY0. And pull them in. Yeah, I don't like what it's doing here, so pull these both back out. Really, I just needed these to be lined up at the top, I guess. All right, Let's see what that looks like. Alt H. I still got some pieces here that are just going to be problem children. Ah, that's the problem. Wonder what the heck is causing that to be like that. I can't really see it very well. Getting there. Okay. Maybe bring that one over a little bit. Okay. So that's pretty close. Not a big deal because with this, I mean, what I can do is like create a little lip that fits into, which I probably will do anyway, so it doesn't look so bland. But anyway, that's our shield there. If we do an Alt 3, look at the top, we have the escape hatch that we need to do, and also the docking port. So 7 top view, let's see, Z, get into the top here. And I have kind of an octagon shape here, so the easiest way to make an octagon is do a Shift A, go to Mesh, create a circle. Once you create your circle, and hold on, let me X delete that circle because my 3D cursor is not in the center. Shift S, cursor to center, thank you. Shift A, Mesh, Circle, T, Tools menu, go to your vertices, and octagon has 8 sides. So put that in there, move it into place, and then I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to R and do Shift Rotate. I think will help. Nope. Control Rotate. Yeah. What is going on here? R, Control. There we go. So yeah, it's not going perfect, but there we go. So it's even the right size. How did that happen? So tab into edit mode. You can T off of that menu. And I'm going to extrude, E-extrude, select off of that, S to scale, to scale it in to where that piece is there. And then A, select everything. And let's do Alt 3 side view. And I can just pull it up to, let's go right here, E-extrude, and scale it up, and S scale it inward to about where it needs to be, like so. Look at Z, and that's kind of how it's looking right now. Okay, Alt 3 needs to actually be touching, oops. A, select all, actually needs to be sitting on the top of here. Okay, 7 top view, Z, and we have this little wheel here that you use to open the hatch. Doesn't need to be this big, but I'm going to do a let's see. Let me do that as a separate piece as well. So tab back in object mode. We could call this hatch underscore escape. And Shift A, go to Mesh, and we're going to create something that I don't normally use, and that's a torus. So there we have it. Before you do anything with it, go to T menu, scroll down here, and you can look at all your segments and everything. And I don't need that many segments, I don't think. Need something like that. Minor segments. Something like 12. And radius. I don't want radius. I need, let's see, minor radius. There we go. That's what I want. So something like that. Move it into position. Scale it down. And there is that. So with this, let's see, Alt 3. Gonna be right around there somewhere. You can either subsurface if you want it really smooth, or you can do smooth shading on it. So it's going to look something like that. Probably go ahead and just add the subsurface on this. It'll look a lot nicer. And we only really need probably one subdivision on that and smooth it. It should be fine. Okay. And let's go ahead and go back in, tab back into that, do a Shift A, and create a cylinder. And while that is there, come down here and actually let's leave the cap fill on that. Just bring it up into place, and we don't need this subserved. X delete. I'm just going to make this a separate part. So Shift A, mesh, cylinder. There we go. All right, so 7 top view, bring this over, S scale it down, Z scale it down. Something like that. Shift A, create mesh. Let's do a cylinder again. Actually, I could have used that same cylinder, but that's okay. Go to the T menu before you move it, so you'll still have this menu, and change the fill cap to nothing, so we won't have any caps on it. Come up here. Let's rotate along the Y. RY90, enter. S to scale it down. Scale it way down. SX, scale along the X. Scale it down. SX. And then I'm just going to move it into place here. SX. Should scale it down that way a little bit. Okay. Let's see, one. I think I need one side view. Yeah. Grab this one. S, Z. Let's move this down. It's going to be in here somewhere, I think. And what happened to my What did I do with my little handle? Or is it in here? Oh wow, did I lose it already? Must have deleted it. Wow. All right, so I have no idea what the heck I did there. So I need to recreate what I just created. So I'm just going to speed this up. I guess I deleted it somehow, but I'll speed this up so you don't have to wait for me. All right, so we're back to where I think we should be. I don't know what happened there, but anyway. Um, so at this point, you can just duplicate this and rotate it around and add, add those in. If you want to be fancy about it and you want to be accurate about it, what you can do is you can come over here and place your 3D cursor by using the right mouse button. Just get it right in the center there. And you can choose your team menu, go to set origin, and set the origin to the 3D cursor. So you can see the manipulator is now right over the 3D cursor. While you have your piece selected here, just do a Shift D, duplicate, and R rotate, and look at there. Just rotate it right around. So now you can see my drawing is a little off here. It's not completely in a circle, so this is more accurate. Shift D, duplicate that one, and R rotate that, and put it right there, or wherever you think is best there. You can actually even rotate by, tell it R65 for whatever degrees you want to rotate around here to get it accurate. Okay, so I'm going to set the origin back to geometry and Shift S cursor to center, put that back. And if you want to, you could put your origins back to geometry on these other pieces here, but it's not a big deal unless you're going to be moving, changing them around again or something. Okay, T menu, and so that's kind of what we have there. Z, okay, that looks all right, I think. I don't like what this is doing. I need to, let's see, Control 7Z. Okay, so going to face, I don't need these bottom faces. X delete faces. Okay, go back to vertex view and Alt select this edge loop, and 7 top view, scale it, and I'm just going to scale it down so it's going closer to straight down. In other words, if we choose Z, then now you can see that that piece is going straight down. It looks a lot better to me. And then, of course, we need something this wheel thing is sitting on. So let me shift select all this stuff. Okay, it needs to come down a little bit, I think. All right, so just going to take this, Shift D. Okay, there's no face on the bottom, which is what I want. 7 top view, scale it down, tab into edit mode, choose faces, C tool, and just select all those top faces. X delete faces, A select everything, S Z to scale on the Z. Okay. All right, just something like that. Okay, so that's that. That's our escape hatch for now. There's going to be more details to come later, but that's that. Now on the back here, what I want to do, I don't want to do an octagon piece. I want this to be, at least start out as a circular type of docking port. So I'm just going to do a Shift A, go to Mesh, create circle, and remember we made an octagon, so we need to go to our team menu, and I'm just going to change this to the regular 32 vertices. That's plenty enough. And now I can bring it up, RX90 enter, bring it over, and Control 1 to see the back view, Control up arrow. All right, scale that puppy down, bring it into position. About right there, go to Alt 3 side view, And of course this looks a lot bigger than, or my reference picture looks a lot bigger, but that's okay. Tab into edit mode. Oops, can't tell because I'm not in vertex view. Okay. And E, extrude. A, select everything, and then I can bring it into the ship. Right about there. And then Alt select this. E, extrude, scale it in. E, extrude, and then scale it in like so. And E, extrude, scale it in like so. And you can merge all of these vertices by doing Alt M and telling it to merge at center. Okay, so that's all of that for now. There's of course going to be a lot more detail to that as well when we get into our details section. And as I was looking, I seen something weird here. Oh, it's because I didn't have this mirrored and I pulled that one back and I didn't pull this one back. So just need to do that. Okay, that's much better. Control S quick save. I'm going to go ahead and do a screenshot, F12. Okay, why am I not seeing my shield here? I got it hidden somehow. Yep, I got it hidden from render. Don't know why. Don't know how that happened. Weird things happen while I'm doing a tutorial. It's just weird. Actually, weird things happen when I'm working in Blender anyway. So Control S, F12. So there we have our ship so far. I'm going to save this as version 6 for my screenshots. And it's coming along quite nicely so far. In the next part of the tutorial, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to take care of these problem lines that you see in the render on the ship. And we're also going to get into a little bit of creating some of the materials on the ship. Just because as you go along and work with this, it's kind of rewarding, to me anyway. It's kind of rewarding to start to see a little bit of how this is looking. I mean, you're doing all this work and you're like, well, it just doesn't look that great yet in the renders. So it's kind of rewarding to get some of that look and feel of what it's going to look like to help push you on and, you know, and keep you interested in making a nice, cool looking model. So that's the idea anyway. So I will see you in part 7.